Where we delve into the pressing issues shaping our state and, of course, Lagos. Today, we turn our focus to one of the most critical pillars of our future, education. With the ever-growing population of Lagos State ensuring that every child has access to quality basic and secondary education is more important than ever. But how is the state government rising to meet this challenge? Join us as we sit down with the Honorable Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Jamiu Ali Balogun, to explore the strides being made to open the doors of learning to every child, regardless of their background or location. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, let's begin. Off camera, I asked you, I said, oh, you are the first commissioner of this ministry. So when you assumed office, what do you think, what were the things you saw that made you, believe that it needed to split, the basic and secondary education from the tertiary?
That was the decision of the Executive Council, not my own decision. Probably a review of the past activities of the ministry and then looking into the future. So you can't hold everything together rather than you separate them and then let things work efficiently and effectively. That's why the tertiary education was created out of the old Ministry of Education. We now have Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education on one side as the overall Federal Ministry for Education, and we also have a Ministry of Tertiary Education that handles the issue of our institutions, higher institutions in Lagos State. We have the LASU and others. So under tertiary education.
Okay, so what are some of the achievements that you have achieved so far, if I may say so? And what are the things that ever since you assumed office, what are the things that you have seen that you need to improve upon to better help in Lagos?
One of the critical factors that is known not only in Nigeria and globally is that out of two issues, whereby we have many children who are supposed to be in school but are not in the school environment.
School children.
And it has to do with what we call learning poverty. That is the inability of a parent or guardian to provide the basic necessity that needed for a child to go to school, like the school uniform, the sandal, the school bag, and books and the rest. If they can't afford that, definitely they won't send their children to school. That is one. And two, some don't even believe that the school system works unless you talk to them, encourage them. We have the situation on ground right now whereby a woman has about 5 children and she prefers them to be working for her for sustenance. And yet, we are out there enlightening the people on a reason why they should send their children to school. And we make enrollment very seamless. We let them know that education is free in Lagos State, and which is one of the pillars of our party, free education. No child should be denied of that education. We reach out to people at the grassroots level by campaigning, telling them the importance of education. So that is one of the things we are doing right now. They will resume by next week, and we need to tell the people the reality that in all our schools in Lagos State, basically the primary schools, education is free. Okay. And yesterday I was on a program whereby I gave my number to Lagosians to call me wherever they go, and if they demand money from them, they should call me immediately, and I will go to that school and verify.
Okay, so maybe you share it too with us here before you go. But again, I want to ask that what's the reaction like? You know, because considering the condition that we found ourselves in as a country. So, for instance, that woman who sends her children to hawk, it's not a justifiable means anyway. But again, she would say that they need to eat. So how is the reaction like? What are the reactions that you have gotten while you embark on this activity?
In the past, we've embarked on one thing that is called Project Zero. This is a situation whereby we identify parents that cannot afford to send their children to school. We counsel them. We find out what kind of business they are doing, and we provide the minimum capital for them to start.
Okay.
And we do the needful by buying bags and uniform for the children. So the moment she starts doing the business, at least she can afford the basic things to feed the children, whereby we have already bought the uniform, sandal, and the necessary materials so that the child can go back to school. That is what we call Project Zero in Lagos State. And it was done in collaboration with other stakeholders who are interested in that project. And in recent time, the Rotary, on a visitation to Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, also committed to that program, that they want to engage in feeding program for our children in Lagos State.
So the state government cannot do it all.
Of course, it's about collaborative front when it comes to education governance.
Okay, one of the engagements you've done is meeting with critical stakeholders in the education sector. But the one I saw that I found really interesting was meeting with security agencies, which you did about, a few weeks ago. I'd like you to, speak more on that.
The issue of school safety is a national issue. And then from the national, we've been mandated to have a committee on that at the state level. And in that committee, we have all security agencies, the army, the police, the NDLA, all of them. And we also have the traditional ruler, the CDC, the CDAs. So that is the composition of that committee. It's about knowing the way to prevent kidnapping from our schools, to prevent the issue of courtesan, rape, bullying, and which we are looking into. We've met with the necessary stakeholders, basically the principals and the teachers, where we enlighten them on what to do. And we've equally taken a step whereby we want to the children to be in self-defense by promoting all these paramilitary organizations in schools, like the Boy Scouts, the Get Guide, and all of that. So here they will teach them about leadership, about confidence to say it out. So if you see it, you say something. And if you say something, you must definitely do something. So that is what we're doing in our school right now.
Okay, talking about discipline, we all understand the type of society we're in today. We can't compare it to the days we went to school. You talked about Girls Guide, Boy Scout. When we were in primary school, it was a thing for us to be, but we've seen that in most public schools, we don't see it anymore. Because I went to a public school. So what are we doing, or what are you doing to ensure more discipline, by bringing in those movement?
Well, once in a while, you just see policies that may not fit our immediate environment. Because we most often than not copy the Western world. Don't beat a child. So, and it doesn't augur well with our own environment.
But is it true that there is a policy that you cannot,
course, yes.
you have to spare the rod now
Yes,
and
yes,
spoil the child?
yes.
There are other means.
I've been hearing it, but I
Yes.
just wanted to be
There
sure.
is a policy that you cannot.
They beat us
beat.
very well, though.
That was then. I went to public school also.
They beat us very well.
I went to Jakonde
in
school.
Jakonde
of
school,
course.
Shepherd Hill. I will
So
always
you
promote
dare
my
not
school.
do it. But right now we are looking at it. It's also part of the safety measure in schools, whereby we have those that can discipline, not necessarily beat, but give them other alternative punishments so that they will feel sober. So we are looking into that. So
I hope those other alternatives will be effective.
definitely it will be effective because we are going to have all these paramilitary organizations manning the schools.
Okay.
So they will be in charge of that
Okay.
discipline.
I want you to please mention, some of these other alternatives we're looking at now.
Well, it is still a committee stage,
Okay.
Okay.
and we deliberate every now and then, and we still believe they will come out with the best option for us,
Okay.
because it's not about us alone.
Okay.
It's about all these paramilitary organizations and also all these agencies that more or less can enforce discipline. The army, for instance, the police, for instance, they come up with the best alternative that we can be implemented in our schools.
Okay.
All right. So I wanted to talk about training and retraining for teachers. Ever since you've assumed office, what are the measures that you are putting in place to ensure that teachers are on top of their game?
Again, I want to give it to our amiable governor. He so much believe in human capacity development. And it's not about boasting or whatever, but I believe Lagos State teachers are one of the best in Nigeria. We train our teachers in so many fronts. The TESCOM is there, whereby the training is a continuous thing. So they train our teachers on so many things about leadership, about performance, even subject improvement. So,
The curriculum.
of course, learning about new pedagogy, teaching methodology, and how to handle the classroom management effectively. It is an ongoing process in Lagos State. And it's not only from our own end as government, we also have NGOs coming forward to, of course, partner with us and then collaborate with us. So virtually all our teachers are well trained. And don't forget, about last year, we won about 2-3 best teachers in Nigeria. So the records are there. And we are even set to repeat that same feat this year. That is kudos to our governor, who so much believe in training people across board.
Okay, we can't talk about education, teachers, students without talking about parents.
Of course.
Parents have, a great role to play. So, what efforts are being made to involve parents, and of course, the community is also part of parenting. Okay, because they say it's one person that
It's taking a whole village
it takes a whole village,
to raise a child.
So,
Yes.
what efforts are being made to involve parents and communities in
the
education process?
The involving lifestyle of isolation. I don't want to mingle with any other person.
It's fast
might be
becoming,
yes, yes, and it's
the Egypt of
affecting our
today.
social value
Yeah.
as Nigerians. In most instances, I've observed when I go to school, even the old school do isolate themselves from the external community, the immediate community. They don't know who the ballet is. They don't know who the chairman of that community is. They don't know who is the CDA and all those stuff. And you say you want to have a successful school management, vis-a-vis discipline the students. So that is the missing link. But again, the issue of good parenting matters. And because, probably because of the economic reality of the day, many parents don't have that time for their children. That's why we have people misbehaving in school. Because once in a while, as a parent, you must go to the school to
check.
find out.
Yes.
Monitor the
To
performance
find,
of
of
your child.
course, and when the child gets home, you must cross-check. What have you been taught today? So that is it. Those values are no more there. I remember my father would call me, okay, I want to write a letter. Also, write for me. You understand? And then let me see, okay, he will make the necessary correction. And from there, so indirectly, he was training me. And once in a while, he will go and bring your bag. There is no way for me to say I didn't go to school.
Especially when you now find so. I remember
Exactly.
my mom finds somebody else's pen in her
Exactly.
bag. Who's killed me?
That is the value we want to reawaken. Anywhere I go, any school I go, and I've had series of meetings with teachers and parents forum, so that the way forward, whatever we want to do, the future of our students is more or less in our hands. We must make it better. We must look after them. If we look after them very well, there won't be the issue of courtesan, the issue of bullying, and the issue of drug abuse in schools. So
Right.
all these things are more or less from the environment
Okay.
to the school system, not from the school system to the environment.
I like when you mentioned that when you go to the schools, because I was about to ask that how do you monitor the performances, the activities going on in
I
the
go
schools around
virtually
you?
every week.
Okay.
I go to schools. Virtually
Do
every
you
week.
just show up or they are aware
I,
that
I will go
on a
to
particular day you are
classes.
coming?
I've seen so many things because the teachers are not my friends. And I told them, face to face, you can only be my friend if you do the right thing at the right time. So,
I also want to add to that, you know, when we're talking about, you know, parents, you know, assessing their children, you know, I know in private schools there's something they call open day.
we
Yes.
have it in public space
Where
also,
parents
but
come.
they won't come.
Ha.
Most often than not, they won't come. And there is a little the school system can do about that. So there's no serious sanction about parents coming for open day to come and at least evaluate the performances of their children.
That's a problem
So-
now. So how do you intend to tackle it?
It is about talking to them. It's about enlightening them of the merits behind
I
it.
think this is also where the community leaders
Yes.
come
Exactly.
in, you know, to
So
talk to the
it's about
parents.
having community engagement, in which I've done, and the SBMC that has to do with a committee that we have a sort of interaction with the school and the community.
Okay.
So we have the representative of the Bale or the Oba, the religious leaders, the community leaders, the CDA, even the old student association will be part of it. So we want to start that by September this month,
Okay.
so that we come with a new beginning, a new mindset. People will be involved in what is going on in the school, aside from the management, school
Is
management.
it that parents are just more interested in chasing money, you know, than, you know, taking
That's
their
the issue of-
children's
reality that we have
education,
found
you know, more
ourselves.
seriously?
You find in some on some schools you have a parent forum chairman of 12, 15 years doing what? Doing what? I don't know. Doing what? There was a school we went to at Ayobok Pada. It was December last year. We just saw it on the social media. The WAEC is coming. They don't have English teacher. They don't have government teacher. They don't have this. They don't have that. It was the deputy governor that called me. It was on a Saturday evening. What are you doing? Didn't you look at the social media? I said, I've seen it, sir. Do something about it. Immediately, I called the tutor general in charge of that district.
District, yeah.
This is what is trending on the social media.
Exactly.
He said, yeah, he's aware, but there's nothing of such in that school. Okay. You know what? Just give me the name and phone number of these teachers in that school. And I started calling them one by one to find out the reality. on Monday morning, I was there with my team by 7 o'clock. No, that is me. Yes, well, on getting to the school, it was the issue of parents forum that triggered the whole thing. Probably the teacher, the principal and one teacher, they said blah, blah, blah. They want to hire a part-time teacher. But funny enough, they had 3 English teachers. Just because a literature teacher retired, none of them is willing to take literature. But 3 English teachers in a school, in a secondary school.
Okay, I want to find out more about this free meal program. Is Lagos State part of this state considered?
It is about federal government initiative.
Okay.
And I think it was stopped early last year due to probably some mismanagement and the rest. And then it was placed under, not under the Ministry of Education per se. It was under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. So, and when the president got to the office,
issues with that ministry.
of course, he just said they should investigate certain things and then they should stop the program for now. And then it has not been resuscitated as of now, but we hope it will soon come on board because it's a very good thing.
Crucial.
Very crucial, and that actually brings more children to the school system because they are going to have a free meal and then
take a bit of burden from the parents.
Yes.
And this can also even make the parents push their children to school.
When you are sure that at least your breakfast and lunch
is sorted. Okay, I want to find out more about the curriculum, being adapted. Okay, so how is the curriculum being adapted to meet current trends? Our children, they are used to all these gadgets.
technology.
Of course,
technology.
we are looking into that. In Lagos State, we've done a lot in that front. We have the QSL program in our primary schools, whereby it is friendly, is a device that is friendly for teachers. All the subjects that is, are there, the content are there, is for them. It will save them that time of writing notes, lesson notes and all those stuff. So, and it is interactive. They are there, the students, I mean the pupils will follow and understand. Aside from that, we also have a tab for our senior secondary school. I think we have distributed about 13,000 pieces. And we are looking at distributing almost about 25,000 more. On this small app, like a phone, they have their subjects, they have questions, WAEC papers, and everything. They can actually read on their own.
And it's given to them free?
Of course, free, very free. They can read on their own without internet or whatever. And they can review questions on their own, and it has assisted in enhancing their performance when it comes to examination. So that is one. But the broader curriculum itself is the issue of the federal government, and in which they have done last year. But they are yet to integrate that with the
new school year.
Necessary institutions that are concerned with that, most especially WAEC.
Yes.
So we have a review curriculum that integrates robotics, coding, artificial intelligence, even fashion designing, and all other soft skills and then vocational training. But yet, nobody is talking about that. But they just give us since last year. But even at the primary school level, the issue of vocational training is more or less being reviewed. And then the government is looking for a way of saying, okay, every child at the primary school level should learn one trade or the other, aside from the normal school learning, teacher and learning process. But the implementation process is the only thing that is awaiting that now.
Now that you mentioned WAEC, I want to get your reaction. What's your take on the age limit that has been set, 18 years for WAEC?
Well, it is about federal government policy, and we don't have any input on that for now, and we believe probably there should be a review.
But you will have but you will have a personal opinion about
it. It's about a projection. Even if it is a good policy, you must give time. It shouldn't be immediate.
Okay.
Probably, let's say 2 years, 3 years. Let's start gradually, and we get there. So that is just it. That's the missing link.
Okay. Some public primary schools, now have their nursery section. So what do they offer, especially now that school is about to resume?
Well, nursery is about making them comfortable.
Jealousy me.
Jealousy me, of course,
Home away from home.
Of course, home away from home. They sing, they sleep, they play. Of course, that is it. And we have them in our schools. And of course, we have the facilities and we have the teachers who are more or less dedicated to children of that tender age. So each time I went to school, I just wonder. At times they will be sleeping. Okay, are you taking good care of them? That is it. So if there's anything, just don't waste your time to let us know immediately. So,
okay, I also want you to talk about inclusive schools for physically challenged pupils. What more?
We have about 47 in Lagos State, and they are doing fine.
They're doing fine.
Of course, they are doing fine, and even in most instances, people come from other states to bring them to our own space. But because of humanity in us, we just have to accommodate them. So,
their teachers also, because they are graced especially, to take care of these children. So how is the state also ensuring that they are properly trained, to take care of these children?
That has to do with special education. And then we have been doing a lot on that. From time to time, we also train them aside from the basic training, entry training they had probably from their higher institution. We also enhance their performance on the job by giving them training as I went due. And the British Council is also very effective when it comes to that, and other NGOs also. They do come, collaborate, and partner with us for training of our teachers on special education. Even WAEC also do that. And special education teachers.
Special education teachers.
Yes.
Okay, I want to talk more about bullying, because we see all manner of, videos online about bullying in schools. How much of this advocacy is being done, to the children now by the teachers? Because we even see some teachers bullying the children.
No, that can't happen in Lagos State because they know what I stand for. It's not about that. There are many cases that are being investigated by the Quality Assurance Office.
Okay.
So department, the Ministry of Education office, rather.
Okay.
So if there is any report on bullying, we swing into action. And let me also say this. Good parenting matters. Whatever a child sees,
It's from the home.
of course, it's from the home.
Charity, they say.
Of course, and you not transfer that to the school system. It's not from the school system. But our own is more or less to safeguard our students, and by giving them that confidence to speak out. If they can speak out, it will be easier for us. And it won't be easy for those that are doing that act of bullying others in the school system.
Okay. Do you still have any
serious
questions?
Yes, I want to talk about infrastructure, and facilities. Our old school, I always refer to my Jakonde school. It was almost,
I went to Jakonde school.
It was more like a poultry. That was how we described.
That was what produced us anyway.
It was more like and I know that, after then we've had more modern and more...
an advanced level that was developed by, is it Lawal the administrator in Lagos State during the military era.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
each one came with their models.
Bills, yes.
Okay. After that, we have our present now model of schools, millennium schools, and the rest. So you must just appreciate one thing, that the Lagos State government is trying. The population is growing faster than anything.
I was going to that also.
The land space is very limited.
How do you even...
But notwithstanding, notwithstanding, we are leveraging on school infrastructures. We are building every day. As I speak right now, we have about 28 schools, 6 blocks of flats, a classroom being donated through our various representatives in Abuja, in various constituencies around Lagos.
Across
28 projects there. Right now, if you go to any school, you see them there.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So aside from that, we built so many schools within the shortest period of time. We have so many projects going in various schools in the state, most especially in new sites, emerging cities, communities, like some areas in Ikorodu, Badagry, you know, people move towards rural, whereby source of living is very cheap, source of accommodation is very cheap, but yet there are no school facilities. And at times, the community will come up with a strategy. We want to build a school, then they will give us to manage. Or they will give us the land,
and
we
they
also
build
build
on it.
Okay, I want you to talk about school enrollment and the preparations ahead of resumption. And you also said you were going to share your number.
Definitely, yes.
So I want you to talk about that.
Definitely, yes, yes. But I like having engagement with the larger society so that they will know what we do. If they ask questions, we respond accordingly at the right time, so that there won't be hidden information. So enrollment is always the same process, the same seamless process in Lagos State. The lists are already out. Everybody should, I'm talking about the secondary school GS1. The list is out there. Just go there and know whether your child has been given admission to the school, and then you do the necessary process. But for the primary schools, you know, we have to tell the community it is time. It is going on right now. So that go to any primary school, you meet teacher there, and then give them the necessary documentation, birth certificates, LASTRA, and the rest, and they will enroll the teacher, the child into the school system. So it is seamless. So if there are any challenges, let us know.
Okay. So how can they get their challenge across to you? If
yeah, my phone number is a public property. Right now, yes, it is, and everybody have access to me. I attend to virtually everybody.
There are no bottlenecks.
No bottlenecks. Ask anybody in my ministry. I will. If you want to see me, I will see you.
Okay.
So I have an open door policy.
I would like you to at least give us the phone number for those that are watching now.
Okay. Are you going to pay for that? So my phone number is
I'm ready to
0 70 570 280 75.
A final word just before we go? Final word from you?
Well, education is key, and it's very important to our children. We can see the future of our children through education. So it is an investment that is worthwhile. That's one. And two, acquisition is anything all over the world. Whether soft skill, just learn something to back up whatever education that you must have or intend to have. And through education, we can definitely live a better society. We can build ourselves, nurture ourselves, develop ourselves, so that we can develop the society to a stage that we all deserve. So that is the importance of education. It has to do with diligence, endurance, and then knowing how to coordinate your community, your state, your local government better for the developmental agenda.
Well, we thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Lagos State, Jamiu Ali Balogun. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, madam.
Today it was indeed an insightful one. Enhancing accessibility to basic and secondary education in Lagos State is the topic that we just discussed here in the studio. The conversation continues after this.
Let the conversation continue. Let the conversation continue.
Welcome back. I really enjoyed that conversation. You know, education is something I hold very dear because it is what I have, I have become today. Especially the background, and I must give kudos to my parents. My dad was very, 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 very passionate about education, and also I tell you, it is not even how expensive. I think that is the trend today. You know, the more expensive the schools are.
Like a competition. How much?
I'm a product of Jakonde School, and the background. What I learned, I mean that I was always very timid and very quiet, very reserved. When I got into Jakonde School, I became I learned streets. What I guess said something very, very key. Through education, we can have a better society.
Talked about proper parenting, get involved with your children. Get involved, know what they are doing in school. Go through their books. Because of the society that we have found ourselves in, everybody is striving to earn a living. Parents do not really have time to pay attention to their children.
But if your child is in a private school, you will pay attention because the homework they give to your child.
Sometimes I say
you will have to. I think those homeworks are even for the parents.
That's what I say. When I see the books, I'm like, your teacher is giving me this homework.
and I remember that Abimbola has, talked about this and intentional parenting. Abimbola.
Which one?
Yeah, both. But I know one thing you emphasize a lot is, intentional parenting.
I mean, you have to be intentional, especially today where loads of things are happening. And so you have to be there for your kids. You need to check their books. You need to check you know, their homework, and like Joy said, sometimes those teachers, it's just bad belly. How can you tell?
You will not have peace.
How can you tell a 4-year-old to identify sea animal and print it? Is it not me that we print it?
Yes, of course.
So sometimes teachers are big. Give us some breathing space. I know.
They are not the ones that will suffer the pain alone. That bring in
Like
the
There was a time I had to go to the school and say, he doesn't know this thing.
But didn't they ask you, don't you know?
I said, no, he should be the one to do the assignment.
I think sometimes they also just test the parents and know your own ability. Or sometimes they want some quantitative reasoning that would decide to turn my head. I will send it back to the teacher and write it in their home book. We don't know it.
We don't know.
Solve it. That's why you're the teacher.
That's what they call back to say.
But we just need to be intentional. So many things going on right now that, you know, it's important that you are in your kids' lives.
Yeah.
It's very important. And no one can do that for you now that you're alive. So just take care of your responsibility. All right? I think that's the much we'll take today on the program. Thank you so much for watching the conversation today. I know you're not here today, but we promised we were going to wish you a happy birthday on the program. I'm sure you're watching us somewhere. Ajibola Ojeshola, happy birthday to you. We haven't had it is lunch you want to give us, but we know that if you say dinner, you want to weigh us on scale. So we're waiting for you to feed us today. Ajibola, happy birthday to you. Wish you the very best. We'll see you when you resume. We'll see you again tomorrow by God's grace on the Thursday edition of The Conversation. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Abimbola Bello.
And I am Adebimpe Omotayo. See you again tomorrow, God willing. Ajibola, happy birthday. You know what that means.
Stress level.
Okay. Well, I am Joy Olu. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
This is Lagos Television, the voice of Lagos.